Notts County Talk, we are live. No, the power hasn't gone out in my room. I've just got a smaller light on tonight. Looks like I'm sat in darkness, but I am not. We are back with another episode of the Pavis Perspective. It is episode 153, Fleetwood preview. Our anagram tonight is Hijack's Lager, which you can see. You should get that one pretty quick. I wouldn't be surprised if people have got it already in the chat. If you're listening back on Spotify, drop us that 5-star review. And as always, if you would like support with your computer repairs, computer issues, or buying a refurbished computer, go to Better Bytes, who you would have seen at the start of the video. Quote Pavis Perspective, and you will be sorted out there. We have used it quite a few times this week for different things. Kev, fantastic guy, Notts fan as well, obviously. So yeah, head there, Mapley in Nottingham. Fleetwood preview, as I've said this evening. We've also got Barrow on Tuesday. A lot has been happening around the leagues with games in the week this week. Bradford obviously playing, Walsall playing as well. But George, how are you, and how are you feeling as we are kind of getting into crunch time now, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Obviously got concerns over the performance on Saturday. Got a new microphone.
There you go.
It's never been so crisp. My voice has never been so crisp on this channel. Yeah, you've got a new one there as well. It's looking good. We actually look like we half know what we're doing.
Well, we have no clue what we're doing, mate.
Not a clue. Yeah, genuinely no idea.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, we said last week the performances weren't fantastic against Port Vale. First half we were good, and we knew what was going to happen second half, and then against Colchester it wasn't great. We're going to go on to chat about the Tranmere game because it wasn't amazing against Tranmere, but we got the job done. And I feel like that's what you need at this point of the season. So we'll go on to chat about that. But let's kick off by chatting about Fleetwood. Aside that, the start of the season, I wasn't really sure where to place them. But I'm sure when we get Ben in, he will give us his thoughts. So let's get Ben in. Hi, mate. How are you doing?
I'm very well, mate. Thank you for having me on. It's good to talk. It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has. You've been on a couple of the monthly meetups, and then I think on the reverse fixture as well at Medley, in which let's talk about that straight away. We got away with it. We did get away with it, didn't we? 2-0 up for Fleetwood, and then a last-minute penalty. What were your takes on that game?
Yeah, I thought the first kind of half an hour it was peppered our goal a little bit, and then Fleetwood stemmed the flow, had a few set pieces, scored one, got in at half time, 1-0 up, and I thought for the last 15 minutes, kind of Fleetwood controlled the game in terms of a lot better, didn't really allow Notts to play as much as they did in the opening 30, and then got the goal just after half time. Fleetwood do a Fleetwood and sit back and relax, and you go and score, I think, 10, 15 minutes later, and again, it's an onslaught after that. I think you had something like, was it 81 or maybe 82 or 83% of possession in that game of football. Jody Jones was being his usual self, getting loads of crosses into the box and peppering us, and a penalty kick gets awarded, and it's a goal. And so many games this year, Fleetwood have dropped points in like the last 5 or 10 minutes of the game. That was no different. It almost felt like same, different seasons, same Fleetwood. And look, it would have taken a point before the game at your place, absolutely so. However, when you're 2-0 up and you think, right, 2 wins in 2, I think we would have gone top of the league potentially as well if we'd have won 2-0. And then kind of ever since there, it's been up and down ever since.
Yeah. I'm just looking out at the table.
Yeah.
8 points off playoffs. It's not impossible, is it?
Yeah, but I think we're so mid-table. If you could define mid-table, it'd come up with Fleetwood Town, wouldn't it? 11 wins, 11 draws, 11 defeats, 12 in the division, and in that area, of the table, in the top 12, it would be a good season for Fleetwood. After last year, after a relegation, a lot of clubs come down to League Two after being in League One. You need to look at Carlisle. You need to look at Scunthorpe, Forest Green Rovers, those types of football clubs that have come down and struggled the next year. And Fleetwood were kind of in a worse situation than some of those I've just mentioned. That ownership issues last year forced an ownership change. 3 managers, a big player transfer over in the summer, a different, smaller budget, which the football club hadn't been used to. Hadn't got quite the money that we once did at the football club and at the disposal. It's not been a bad season. It's been ups, it's been downs. We've lost to bottom of the league in the space of a week. We lost to bottom of the league Carlisle. We beat top of the league Walsall. Then we lost to bottom of the league Morecambe. I mean, if that just describes football in a nutshell, I don't think you could describe football anything else, could you?
No.
I was gonna say that. Like, how do you think Fleetwood sort of fare against sort of maybe like top 7, top 8 teams? Do you think they seem to perform better, or?
Yeah, I think, no disrespect to the other teams, Notts play without sounding harsh, because I've got nothing but admiration for the way that Notts do things. And Notts' style is very arrogant in terms of, we're going to dominate the play. We are better than you. And that's what you need to be if you want to be a top team. And I also think this Notts team, and I was having a chat with my mate Josh, who's a Cheltenham fan, I think this Notts team would suit League One a lot more than they suit in League Two right now. I think if they go up, they'll comfortably finish inside the top 10, top 12. But when we played MK Dons and Walsall and Bradford, we allowed them to have the ball. And what Fleetwood are good at is sitting in a shape with the likes of Elliot Bonds, Harrison Neal. And then when they win the ball back, getting the balls out to the wing backs, getting cross into the box, getting set pieces and living off scraps and basically making it a tussle. By basically saying, no, you're in League Two. This is a tough physical league, as you know. And, not, we'll know all about the teams that will come to your stadium every week and sit in, and it'll be so frustrating that you've got to break them down. You've got quality to do that. Whereas when it's scrappy games like, no disrespect, the Bromleys, the Gillinghams, the Barrows, the Harrogats, the Accringtons, the Morecambes, where Fleetwood then have to take the ascendancy to the other team and have to be the kind of the domination team to unlock that, they struggled. Whereas when we played a better side, less pressure, and they've kind of been, right, we'll break when we get a moment. So, yeah, absolutely. And you only need to look at our form. We've done the double over Walsall, beat Bradford. We're unlucky against Doncaster away, lost in the last minute. Wimbledon, we only lost 1-0 and drew 0-0 at home, which we should have won by. We had 16 corners. Notts County away, obviously, we were 2-0 up in that game. Port Vale, we were poor. Crewe beat us by a penalty kick. Grimsby beat us by 1. Salford, we were 2-0 up. 2-1 up, and they scored last kick of the game and beat them away. And then you look at the bottom side, we've lost to Carlisle and we've lost to Morecambe away. We drew to Tranmere 0-0. We're struggling against the bottom 6, bottom 8 clubs, and that's been the issue all year.
I think our issue is we can't put the ball in the net when we dominate. So Walsall, I don't know if you saw any of the highlights of that game at home. We should have been 4-0 up at half time and cruising. And we stood there at half time and we said, we know what happens here. We failed to put the ball in the net. And that's what I think. I think we were 100, well, not 100%. I'm pretty confident we will have at least a 15, 20 minute spell where we create a lot of chances. We seem to do that in every single game. But I don't know. I'm not going to say we miss Macaulay Langstaff because we're one of the top scorers in the division, but it's very reliant on Jatta. And he's a good player, but I feel like there's a lot on him. David McGoldrick will not be fit for Saturday's game. Jody Jones is in contention, but no way will he start. He's been out for about 5 or 6 games, so it's a lot on that. And I was going to talk about a player I really like, scored at Meadow Lane, Brendan Wiradu. Is he still as good as he was earlier in the season, or even better?
Are you looking at buying him? Because if you're asking me that question, I think that his performance have got worse, and I think that another season in the League Two will help him. Look, Brendan's Brendan. He was rumoured to go away from the football club, in January, and I wouldn't have wished him any harm, and I think that he deserves a move into League One. What Brendan's best quality is, and I think that he would really suit what you guys do, playing that back three, is, and it allows you to do that. Yes, he is a defensive midfield type of player, and when he is in that position, he is allowed the license to run forward and charge. But when he's at the back, he really likes to get Fleetwood up the pitch and drive forward. But also when he's a 50-50, he gets his body in the way and wins so many fouls. Like Harry Kane-esque at the top end of the pitch. How many times has he, got, a foul from getting his body in the way? He's so good at that, effective, and he can get goals. At times, his performances have been okay. I think that Brendan Wiradu is literally that he could put in a performance that another player would be deemed as good. That'd be Brendan was Brendan today, because Brendan set the standard so high, like a Jody Jones has, like a Jata has for you, like an Abbott has done this year for you as well. Didsey as well. If their levels are maybe not as brilliant as they once are, he kind of gets, has he really been that good? But this year he's come on leaps and bounds. He's made over 100 appearances for the football club. I think he's in the top 20 now all time in the EFL for us as well. He's nearly made 50 appearances as captain for the football club. I think it'll be, I think in 3 or 4 games' time, it will be 50. So, yeah, I absolutely love him. And, he smiles when we win. There's no better feeling, to see him, smiling after a victory.
Yeah, great player. I doubt we'll get him, but I'd love it. Couple more questions.
If you go up, we'll have a chance of getting him, to be fair.
I mean, if he slid into a defence with Jacob Bedu and Matty Platt, that would be some centre back.
Yeah, Bedu I liked him at Morecambe a lot.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable player. Just looking at the stats in the Tranmere game, he was not the highest rated player in that game, and he's just a great player. A couple more questions then before I get your score prediction, Ben. Yeah. The first is, do you subscribe to the idea, and you hear it in every league, when teams are sort of on the brink or in mid-table, that you need experience from that division? Do you think to get out of League Two, you need players that have been there and done that?
In a relative expect, yes. I look at in League One to go a league above, and the average age of the squad. I think you want to have a look of an average age of about 26, between 27. You don't want too old, because Mansfield, for example, have got the oldest squad, and that normally you say, well, at the back end of the season when they need victories, they'll say, it sometimes can work out while you're burnt out and you need a bit of youth. Whereas at the end of the year, if you're relying on young players, yes, there's the energy there, but there's no guidance. And I look at your squad, you've got a lot of everything in there. You've got a lot of, even Grant, he's still a youngest footballer when you think about it.
Yeah.
But he's been around the block, at Wednesday, Rochdale's at MK Don, Barnsley as well. And then, Jatt has obviously just come to the Football League in the last kind of 12, 18 months. But, Jatt, you wouldn't think of, he's been, in the EFL for 18 months now. You wouldn't really think that. So I think that you need a balance, a good balance. And I think that you've got that, I think Fleetwood, to his perspective, have probably not got enough of it in certain aspects, and I think that they lack in key areas, whereas I think that you've got a really good balance. And I think that you look at Walsall, they've gone and signed older pros at the top end, like your Uncle Alberts, but also players from that island, and you mix it all together. And sometimes it can be an absolute disaster, but if you get the right pros and the right people for the football club that get it and want to expand the football club and be better every day, and the right bunch of lads day in, day out that want to improve, that I think that you'll go a long, long way.
I think we're bored. We've been dangerously bordering on that all season, though, with injuries. I mean, we've got no Didsey, we've got no Jody, and I'm looking at the team from Saturday against Tranmere, which we scraped through. Whittaker 21, Grant 23, Will Jarvis 22, George Abbott 19, Zach Johnson 20. You've got 19-year-old Cisse on the bench, 22-year-old Robbie. 22-year-old Jack Hinchy, I think it is very, very close to being there. But yeah, I agree. I think I'm glad some of the players we got in, like we replaced centre-backs with Matty Platt, we replaced with Jacob Bedu. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm going to ask you to stick your neck out and give me a top 3, Ben, right now.
If I'm honest with you, my top 3 has been set off. I did think Walsall may slip up, but I just think that 10 points is a lot. With, you think 42 available, you think that, are they really, pretty much Wimbledon would have to go and get 10 more than them. It's going to be hard. I think Walsall will go up. I really do. I do think Bradford and yourself will join them. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on here. I do think that, for me, Walsall are miles ahead. Bradford are unbelievable at this moment in time. They've just timed the run at the right time. They finally made, Valley Parade a fortress. I think they've won 9 on the bounce there, haven't they? They've won 13 home. Actually, only lost once this season. 42 points. Home form is critical in these lower divisions. Vital. And yourselves, again, big crowds at home, scoring goals. You're getting players back from injury as well. I do worry about you when, obviously, Didsey's a great player, but again, double game weeks coming up as well. Will he be able? He can't exactly do Saturday, Tuesday, coming back from an injury as well. Jody Jones season's been dampened by injuries, but you still manage without. If you stop Jatta, do you stop Knots? I still think you've got quality in other areas. I do think you'll get the top three, if I'm honest with you. And then I do think that Wimbledon will just miss out because they are really good defensively organised, Wimbledon, and so frustrating to play against. You're very nice on the eye. I think Wimbledon are more suited to League Two than yourselves. However, I think that they scrap and they fight and they don't. I think only Burnley in the FL have conceded less goals than them away from home. I think they've only conceded 12 of Wimbledon, 5 for Burnley. But I think yourselves will get over the line through the attacking and the flourishness that you've got. And, hopefully you've won half your games this year. You're 57 points. It's so tight at that top end. And, it could be anyone's. And, yeah. Do you think you're going to do it from your perspective?
I think we'll get third. I've said third since maybe start of September. George is not sure. Right now, George, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure. I know we won on Saturday, but it was a real tough watch. Everyone just seemed to have a really bad game. But I mean, there's two ways to look at it. You can either look at it in the way that it was a really bad performance and this can't go on, or promotion sides, even when they don't play well, they still win games. So I don't know. The 2 games leading up to the weekend, though, I was obviously concerned, but time will tell. We've got players coming back, haven't we? So
and
I'm not convinced at the minute. I'd still say playoffs.
Yeah, we go to Wimbledon next Saturday. So
yeah, they're so frustrating to play against.
Massive. We got battered there last year as well. Al Hamidi tore us apart.
Yeah, some player.
Ben, before we let you go, really appreciate your time. Always great to have you on. Can we have a score prediction for Saturday's game then?
Oh, it's going to be a very, very, very tough game. You're good away from home. In decent form, you won 6 of your last 9, haven't you? And you lost that Port Vale game. Fleetwood are hit and miss. Fleetwood are actually looking to make it 4 clean sheets on the bounce at home for the first time in like 5 years. I do think we'll concede. I do think we'll score. I'll go for 1-1. I'll take a point at the weekend. I think that, again, our record against the top end side has been good. It's going to be a tough game against a good club at this level.
Yeah, fair enough. Ben, always great to have you on. Good luck for the rest of the season after Saturday.
And yourself, mate.
Beat some of the teams up there for us. And yeah, great. Cheers mate. Pal. Speak soon.
Thank you.
Ooh, it's going to be tough. It's a tough week, thinking about it. Fleetwood away, Barrow at home.
It's going to be horrible. Horrible.
This time next week, six more points to play for. Honestly, I don't know. I think my house. Look, I don't know what's going on with my lighting here. I'm not turning lights on and off. Something's coming going on. I think it's that thing you talked about. What we talked about 3 months ago on the show. That Millennium thing.
Don't talk about.
I'm shaking. Someone's in it. I met my cat somewhere with a torch on. Look, I don't know what's going on with it. Whoa, it's these new microphones.
I think, do you know what shadowing is?
Sharon who?
It don't matter. It's all right.
No, I don't know. It was shadowing.
Yeah.
You think my camera's doing that?
Yeah, no, it's just there's a shadow in the background.
Yeah, no, it's not my shadow.
Of course it is.
It's my cat. It's not my shadow. I might turn this light on, but I might not. I might just look. It's like just enjoy the light show. It's light night in Nottingham on tomorrow night. I was just doing a preview of it.
Is it?
Yeah. 100%.
Is it really? Or are you just saying it?
No, it is.
Are you going?
Of course I'm not. Are you going? Yeah, you didn't even know about it.
No,
it's Richard, star for you for remembering his name. Star for you.
Not to forget a name like that, innit?
Richard also says knowledgeable guest or what? Yeah. Ben's fantastic. Go and check out his channel, Nappers.
Yes,
check it out. Really, really good. John says he does a credible podcast. He does League One live every Sunday night, I think, and has dipped in some League Two lives. Fantastic guest. Always have one. We've done well this season with guests, haven't we? The last 2 guests have been Ben and Dave from Morecambe. Fantastic. Unreal. Right. He kind of alluded to it there, George. And people said this on the show last week in the chat, but people also had just said it at the ground and sort of on social media that we were a bit downbeat. I mean, we review games week by week. There was 2 games. We picked up 1 point from 6. I don't really see... And we weren't good. We weren't good second half against Port Vale, and we weren't good against Colchester. Now, yes, we've done well before that, but we need to be seeing. I think we're at the point now where we need to be seeing performances improve. And I'm not going to stay here tonight and just be downbeat and everything, but
I think you should be.
It's unsustainable. If we go to Fleetwood and play like we did on Saturday, we don't win. It's really simple. If we go to Wimbledon and we don't win, we might scrape it against Barrow, who aren't in fantastic form, but we never do that well against Barrow ever since National League days, and they're celebrating in front of us, in front of the Cop. Probably the only side that's celebrating in front of the Cop and actually then carried on to tear us apart, isn't it? But also, a few people saying it wasn't that bad in the comments on the Tranmere vlog. It was. And 2 late goals papered over that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you've only got to look at the match stats, not even delve deeply into XG and stuff like that. Just look at the shots. That's it. That's all you need to look at.
I'll have a look at the shots. Bottom of the league, 23 goals all season. They had 20 shots to our 13. Higher expected goals, more corners, more shots on goal, more blocked shots.
They put it on us big time. We were flapping a bit, but I do think some of it could potentially come down to tiredness. We've got players coming in for injured players that might not be fully match fit, sharp, and things like that. And it has been quite a demanding couple of weeks, I think. Yeah. Some tough games as well, where we've had to really grind it out. Do you know what I mean? To sort of get anything from the game. And I think a lot of that, you sort of see the frustrations being released with Jack's celebration. Well, it's either that or he's got a goal bonus when he hits 15. I said that to you in the week, didn't I? I thought I'd crack the code there. That celebration was class, wasn't it, against Tranmere? Thought we'd won the league at that point, but we hadn't, unfortunately. So yeah.
I know what Ben's saying. We do on paper have a great blend of players because even our young players are good.
I think we do lean a lot more towards being a young team for sure.
Yeah, and then you've got Didsey in there that smashes when he's in the starting out, smashes that average age, like young average age thing to pieces. Because even the players you would consider kind of senior players in there, Matty Palmer, who is 30 years old. Matty Platt is only 27. Jacob Bedu is 25. Gordon is 27. So this is the starting line the other day. And Alex Bass is 26. So one player in their 30s. One player. You look at the bench then. Curtis Edwards, 31. Sam Slocum, 72. And that's about it. It's a very, very young team. What's up?
Nothing.
It's a very, very young team with experience. Yeah, in different. Yeah, we need more. We need Didsey and Jody back. But I also like what you said, that winning that game is what sides that go for promotion do. You don't play well and you win. That's what you have to do. You have to do that in games because teams around us are winning. Bradford won in the week again, an 83rd minute goal from Bobby Poynton away at Bromley. We know Bromley's. I mean, we scored 4-5 at Bromley, something like that. I think it's 4. We know Bromley aren't easy to go away to and play against. Walsall, I also agree with Ben. They're going to just do it purely by that run they had mid-season. Yes, it was funny that they threw away the 2-goal lead against Cheltenham, but it's another point on the board. All they need to do is just keep ticking off points. We've got 14 games left. If they draw all 14 games or 13 games, it puts them on 80. They could draw them all, and they could probably still get promoted. The way I look at it is this. What we're saying, 80 points has been promotion for the last I think one team in the last 10 years haven't been promoted with 80. Mm-hmm. Right? That means 23 more points would get us to 80. We've got 42 available. And I know it doesn't work like this, but if we can drop 19 points, I'm confident we can pick up 23 from 42. Very confident.
Yeah, well,
23 from 42. That's nearly 1.5 points per game, isn't it?
That's what?
1.5 points a game or something like that.
So it's around that, yeah, 1.6.
Well, I think we can do that. And then if you want to go that little bit further, what if we picked up, you're looking at sort of definitely securing it, 30 points from 42 would definitely secure promotion. That put us on 87. I think that's doable. I think that's really, really doable. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you think 80 will do it?
I'd like to think so, but I just feel like it's very Knots-esque if it wasn't. Do you know what I mean?
What, to be the team that misses out with like 82?
Yeah.
I agree. I think Crewe are out of the picture because they've played a game more than us, 2 more games than Port Vale. They're 5 points behind us. I think it's out of Port Vale, Notts, Wimbledon, Doncaster, Bradford. So 5 teams fighting for 2 spots. Callum says 8 wins, 6 draws, and a few losses. That's the 14 games done with the 8 wins and 6 draws. But, 5, let's say 7 wins from 14, win half your games. What's that? 21 points. Couple of draws in there, 23. That puts us on 80. 7 wins, 2 draws, 5 losses. I hope we don't get 5 losses, but I don't know. This is the worry, isn't it? What you're kind of saying there, George. Chris says the top 5 teams are all performing to similar consistency. We could finish 2nd or 5th. Yeah, it is. It's nervy.
The reality is, though, there's going to be 1 or 2 that drop off, and we just don't want to be one of those teams, obviously. I feel like Bradford have got a good thing going, but you do worry that they've maybe had their sort of spell at the wrong time, if you know what I mean. They're on a really good run and they've got some good foundations in place, but I don't know. I just feel like for us now, we just need to go on a really good run and get some confidence back in, because I just think confidence is a little bit low as well at the minute. A lot of misplaced passes and a little bit of clumsiness we've seen in the last couple of weeks that could just be ironed out, and the games would be, performances would be rated a lot more highly, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
just like silly, clumsy mistakes, really. Nothing too major.
I think you say about Bradford, I think they've got a favourable fixture list coming up.
Really,
they really have. They've still got to play Gillingham. Then the game after Gillingham is Tranmere. They've got Accrington still to play. Although they do finish the season with us, then Chesterfield, then Doncaster, then Fleetwood. Yeah, Chris, I did think this today as well when I was thinking about the show. February looked a good month for point building before it started, but it didn't quite turn out that way. And March is the opposite. I do agree with that. In February, we had Tranmere at home, which we got the win. Colchester at home, which we kind of banked on a win. Port Vale away, which didn't turn out. Morecambe at home, we got the win. And Gillingham away, we got the win. So I think there could have been another couple of points in there, maybe. But it's a very, very difficult league. Just going off gut instinct now, George. Let's do the next 5 off gut instinct for you. So Fleetwood away, gut instinct. How many points?
1.
Barrow at home.
Genuine gut instinct says 1 again.
Okay, so there's 2. Wimbledon away.
I'm going to say win.
Okay, so that takes us to 5. Grimsby away on a Tuesday night.
Well, if the home fixture is anything to go by, should be 3, shouldn't it? But it's obviously not turning out like that, is it, this season? Oh, man, that's tough. We've got a tough run of games, haven't we? I'd probably say 1, again. If
there's 6.
Yeah.
Chesterfield at home.
Win.
9.
Easy done.
Even after that, I've got Crewe away. After that. So, interesting. So there's 9. What did you say? 9 points. That would put us on 66 with 9 remaining. We want 14 points from 9 games out of a possible 27. I would go here. I would go Fleetwood away draw. That's 1. Barrow at home win. That's 4. Wimbledon away draw.
I don't know about Barrow at home. We've really struggled at home to sort of surpass teams that really frustrate us. Because I think when a team really frustrates Notts at home, like everyone's getting frustrated in the stand, and I feel like that sort of, you see that coming onto the pitch a little bit, and I think it gets in the players' heads a little bit. And
I think we win that. I do think we win that on Tuesday night. That takes us to 4. That takes us to 4 points. Wimbledon away, gut instinct there is draw. That takes us to 5 points. Grimsby away, gut instinct is a loss. They either win or lose. They don't really draw. That's still 5 points, and then Chesterfield at home win. So that's 8.
That's still above the 1.5.
Just
1.6.
I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult. Then we do have some tough games left. Really do, because we have Crewe still to play, MK Dons, which won't be easy because of what's happened with them. Salford, Bradford, Cheltenham, who are decent, and Doncaster. One more gut instinct question for you. I've used that term a lot today. Do you have a gut instinct that it will go down to the final day against Doncaster? I do.
No, I don't.
Could you imagine being in Meadow Lane for that?
It's going to be rocking.
Yeah, it would be. It would be really, really, really difficult. Joe says Fleetwood 1, Barrow 3, Grimsby 1, Chesterfield 3. That's 8. I do think we'll see an emergence of us beating the teams around us, though. I
do as well. Because let's be honest, we've struggled results-wise, haven't we, with teams around us? But performance-wise, we've been pretty good. And I'm talking about, Port Vale at home, should have beat them. Port Vale away, should have been 2-0 up at half-time. Gillingham at home as well, should have beat them. Walsall as well. Like you said, in the first half against Walsall, we should have been out of sight. Walsall away, they were there for the taking. We didn't do it, but the performance was there. So I just think you can't keep going to the clubs around you playing the way that we did and not get a result. So the tides surely have to turn. It can't be like the story of the season that we played really well against the top teams, but we never really beat them. So I think I just think as well, like the reason I say I think we'll beat Wimbledon away is we just seem to step up a bit, don't we, when we do play teams around us. But we've just got to find our shooting boots, I think, because that for me is generally what we find to be lacking in those games, because we cut out some great chances. We just, I don't know, is it like tension or something? I'm not sure. Confidence, but I mean, we're in a really, really good position. I think it's going to take some motivation for sure, and some players to come back from injury and be ready to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but also we all know that we'll probably go and win away at Grimsby, and then win away at Bradford, and then lose away at Harrogate or something like that, or Newport. That's what will happen. So. Callum says, first away game of the season for me, Fleetwood. So that'd be good. Callum might see there. It's my first time to Fleetwood. Never been to their ground, so that's another one to tick off. That'll be good. Looking forward to it. I mean, do you understand how important 4 points in the next 2 games could be if we come back on this show next Thursday and we picked up even 4 points? 6 would be absolutely massive for our season. Huge for our season, because I believe Barrow is like a game in hand. I think it acts as our game in hand. I'm just going to have a quick look onto Tuesday's fixtures. No, it's not. It's actually not. I don't know what I'm talking about. Everyone's playing on Tuesday night. So, it's not a game. We haven't got a game in hand over everyone anyway, have we, anymore? We've got a game in hand over Doncaster, Bradford and Walsall above us and Crewe below us. It's going to be really, really tricky. Pete says, got to turn those fine margin games around against teams like... against teams around us, stats make it look bad results wise, but it's fine margin. It is fine margins. The one that's on the line against Port Vale, where Jatta gets blocked, I think we probably go and score again after that, if I'm honest. And then we switch off defensively. All we do is switch off defensively from a cross that, be honest, from the stand, George, me and you both thought was flying out.
Do you know what I think as well that we probably should have mentioned, as much as people say they don't like using it as an excuse and things like that, and we have had chances to miss games. I think some games the referees have really had such a big impact on the game. There's been some really bad refereeing performances this season. Really bad.
What are you thinking of off the top of your head?
What was the game that the only home game that you've not been to this season? What game was that? I can't remember.
It would have been Colchester at home.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's when Kellen Gordon was that the game when no. I've missed 2. I've missed Colchester at home and the one where Kellen Gordon was absolutely smashed into.
Yeah, but that was just one instance. That it was relentless all game. Like they were just it looked like they were trying to kill us. You know what I mean? It was madness. So I think that lack of protection is sort of, I'm not blaming the referees. We've got injuries because of referees, but it definitely hasn't helped.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And we're missing key players, and I'm thinking in particular Jody Jones, because whether people want to admit it, and he definitely gets targeted. Definitely gets targeted. He's such a good player, and he can make a defender look foolish, can't he? In an instance, players don't like that, but at the same time, he has such a huge impact for Notts. He's getting targeted without a doubt.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy to see him back in contention, but realistically, he's going to take 2 games to get ready, isn't he, to be fully back to where he should be. And then you just hope no one else gets injured. I even think having the option of Sam Austin. We need even Sam Austin back. He was superb before his injury. Do you remember his performance away at Cheltenham with that goal, which turned out to be the winning goal?
He's had some great performances this season, Austin.
Yeah.
I think as much as we want Jody back, it's really important not to rush him back, because we really, really need him for the running. He's going to be such an important player for the running. You're
also thinking, and I don't want this to be the case, but if it's the second option, it's not the worst, is it? You also want him for a potential playoff run.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yes, people mentioned here about Maynard. Maynard, I don't think there was any news about it being rescinded, but it was just a fine, which I thought they must be rescinded, but just not mentioned for kicking the ball away. He did kick the ball away, but also
I think they tried to control it.
If a player kicks the ball away on the pitch, it's a yellow. So why he's been given a red was ridiculous.
Yeah, I'd like to see the actual laws on that one.
Can you imagine if that was 5 minutes into a game? You're not getting it.
Because the player is in contact with the ball, and the manager shouldn't really be in contact with the ball. It must be like I don't know. I'd like to see the laws on that one, though. If anyone knows, let us know.
It's rubbish.
If only there was a referee on you.
Yeah, I know. If only. Oh, sorry. I'm just thinking, like, the squad and the injuries we've been talking about. I think if you go to Wimbledon and play the same squad as we did against Tranmere, I think you're asking for trouble. That's why we need players back. I wouldn't like to go to Wimbledon away with Jarvis at wing back, Whittaker. Also, we're gonna go for our team in a second. A starter for every game this season for me, every game for the remainder of the season has to be Nick Cerula. I think he's great. I think he's absolutely brilliant. He can actually take players on. When Jody's not in the team, he's the player that can actually take players on. There was a game not that long ago, and he was dribbling around everyone. I can't remember who it was, but he was dribbling around everyone. I think it was an away game. Joe says Cerula fit in final will be important too. Jarvis looking more an impact player at the moment. Yeah, we can't also forget Jarvis has not had a lot of time at Notts, has he? Not a massive amount.
He's got a contract as well, so it's not like we need to sort of rush him in, is it?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on there were some criticisms of Whittaker's performance?
Don't get it. Thought it was good. To be honest, I know Bass was good. He pulled off that good save, didn't he? And he got man of the match. But for me, Whittaker, I mean, it might not have been pretty, but he was doing everything he could to work something. Even if you watch his goal back, like he doesn't. It's not a pass, is it, from Traore? It sort of bounced off him. It's a bit of a loose touch, isn't it? And then Whittaker thinks, I'm going to pick this up and go for it. Do you know what I mean? And he was trying that in a game where he's tried that a few times and it's failed. And he's had the character to sort of like I've used that term before, like get the game by the scruff of the neck. And in some games you do have to do that, and it's not pretty all the time. But I like him. I think he's got such a good character. Honestly, we need to. I don't know what the situation is. I think his contract's a bit odd anyway. That it was a 6-month contract, and it's like it's a permanent signing, and not a loan signing. But I'd extend it yesterday. Do you know what I mean? I think he's such a good player, and he shows such promise. I think he's ideal because look, as much as McGoldrick's been amazing, and I'd love to see him stay another year. What if his aim is just to get Notts promoted and then sort of hang up the boots? You know what I mean? Like we've got to think beyond David McGoldrick, and I think Whittaker is exciting. Is a very, very exciting prospect.
What I also think is people are criticising and saying he's too lightweight. He's just come into men's football for the first time. Players take a while to get used to it. Jeremy says he's been superb, strong on the ball for Saturday's goal too. Yeah, he's still driving, and he's still driving at players. I think good player, and I saw that against Gillingham away as well. So I'm happy with him so far. Right, let's go for our lineup for this game. I'm going Bass in goal, and I'm going to keep that same back three, I think.
Okay.
Wing backs, I want to see Nick Cerullo play. I've said that. I want to see him every game this season start. So I'm going Cerullo on the left, and then I'm going Gordon on the right. What about you?
I agree.
Midfield too?
Abbott
People
and
saying that
Palmer.
Abbott a bit tired, but...
Yeah, but he'll be all right now. He's had a week to rest, hasn't he?
Yeah. Abbott and Palmer?
Yeah.
And then I feel like this is the bit of the conundrum. What do you go with? Away at Fleetwood. You're not at home anymore. We're away. So it's kind of changing my mind. What are your thoughts?
I think there's the potential to see a Traore start, you know.
Away?
I do, yeah, I do. I think for me, Whittaker has to start.
You think?
Yeah, because I think for a young player, I can't emphasize enough like how highly I rate him. You know, for a young player to come in and have like a character that he does, I think it's it's not that common these days, to be honest with you. So I think Whittaker has to be in there. Yeah, it is a big conundrum, a huge conundrum.
I'm going to go Whittaker, Grant, and Jatta with Traore as an option off the bench. I know that people think Traore ended up with 2 assists, didn't he? But I would still go. Just as in an away game like this, I would go for that.
I'm going to go for Whittaker, Traore, Jatta.
Traore behind Jatta or link up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, could be spot on there. Could be spot on. There's our lineup. Saying a lot of people letting us know. There's people saying Traore and Whittaker need to start. Yeah. Traore is a great player to have away from home. He'll cause a nuisance like AJ does. It does give a team something else to think about, and I don't know if teams are expecting us to put two strikers out. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's a bit of the unknown as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
No one really knows what to expect, do they, from Traore?
No. Right, let's go for our score predictions for both games. It's really difficult. I'm going
to go 1-1.
I'm going to go 1-1.
For Fleetwood.
Away at Fleetwood. And then at home to Barrow, I'm going to go 2-0.
I'm going to go 1-1 at home as well to Barrow.
Coming back next Thursday, would you be happy with that?
I wouldn't be happy with it. I wouldn't be devastated either. I always like when you go to Notts, you want to see him win. You know, every fan wants to go see their team win. But I think on the scale of it, Barrow are such a tough side to break down. We've seen it earlier this season. You know, we got away with it at their place. Can you remember?
Yeah.
We really got. Did we do a watch along for that?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why I remember so well. We got away with it big time. I remember just watching that thinking they've done a right job on us here. So, look, I'd love to see us come out and win that game with, some sort of brilliance and, it's 2-3-0 like you're suggesting, but I think we'll struggle.
Fair enough. Let's see what people are saying. 2-1 Notts and then 1-1 in the game at home. We've got a 1-1 and a 3-1. I'd take 4 points, definitely. We've got a 2-2 and a 2-2. We've got 2-1 to Notts both games. We've got 2-1, Jatta Cake getting 2. We've got 7-1, Chicks and Traore hat-trick, Platt 6-0, Chicks and hat-trick, Jones. I'm just reading words at this point, Callum. I'm not really sure. But yeah, you've got a plus 12 goal difference from those 2 games, which could be vital at the end of the season if that one comes true. We've got 2-1 Notts, Whittaker and Traore. We've got 0-0 and 2-0, 2 clean sheets though. We've got 2-1 and 4-1, 2-0 and 3-2. Kay says, will Cameron be allowed to play for Barrow?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to say hope so, because if he is allowed, he'll score.
I doubt it.
0-0 and 2-1, yeah, I doubt it. 1-1 and 1-1, but we'll still get third. That's what you said, George. 1-1 and 1-1. A couple more. You've got 1-0 away win, Jatta, and 2-0 home win, Jatta and Traore. And then David has also gone beat Barrow 3-1, Whittaker, Jatta Cake again, and Traore. There we go.
Jatta Cake again.
Jatta Cake. I think Jatta Cake again. That should be a song. Yeah. Notts insisted Cammy plays as part of the deal. You know he'd score. So I'm not even going to say anything. There we go. If you have enjoyed tonight's episode, please do subscribe to the channel. Safe travels to anyone going to Fleetwood. It is a very, very long journey, so safe travels there. We'll be back next Thursday, as usual, when we will be reviewing 2 games. Obviously, what we've spoken about, Fleetwood and then Barrow at home. Massive, massive game. Good to see so many familiar faces in here as well. We always love the conversations we have. Thanks to Ben. Go and check out his channel. Fantastic guest representing Fleetwood. And Martin has said, great show, guys. 8 for Tom and 8.5 for George, which is fantastic, which is your highest of the season, George, because your previous highest was a 4.2, wasn't it? So
I could cry, honestly.
Superb for you right there.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. And please do drop us a like as well.